You might think this is clickbait, but you're wrong. This is the best Wuthering Waves guide you will ever see. Not because it has the best information, not because it's the easiest to understand, but wait, why is this good again? Information, humor, love, hope, and ADHD. So if you want to learn everything about Wuthering Waves, put a like and watch the video. So first we will talk about the combat. Amazing! Wuthering Waves has 6 elements. Amazing! No, I can't do that. So the 6 elements that we have are Fusion, Glacio, Aero, Electro, Spectro, and Havoc. These will give you an experience that you never had, just like your dad. Some enemies do have resistance to a certain element, and that's why this will make you think more strategically when it comes to building your teams. The combat in this game relies mostly on dodging and parrying your enemy. You can compare this to Elden Ring at a casino. So every character has a normal attack, heavy attack, a perfect dodge attack. So whenever you make a perfect dodge, the game rewards you with a powerful attack. This attack will be just like your normal attack, but using your element and doing more damage. Then we have the Resonance Liberation, which is basically the ultimate. To use your ultimate, you need to accumulate a certain amount of energy depending on your character, and you do that by dealing damage and using your abilities. Because you have something called the Resonance skill, which is one of your abilities. Resonance skill is just a normal ability that you can use on cooldown. But then you have the bonus ability. You unlock this ability by filling the whole bar. The way you fill this bar is different from a character to another, but you mostly use it by holding the normal attack. So it replaces the heavy attack for most characters. Now we have the dodge meter, and you fill the dodge meter by dodging and also by doing damage. The point of this dodge meter is to give you intro and outro skills. The intro and outro skills are very powerful abilities that your characters do whenever you switch to another character. Whenever this bar is filled, you will hear a sound effect, and that means that you're able to use your intro skill. Now we have 5 weapon types on Wuthering Waves. Every character can use one type of weapons, and in every type of weapon there is weapons with different rarity and different stats. Some of them are supportive, some of them give more damage, some of them can be defensive. Wait, that's the wrong game. What makes this game different is the ecosystem.
I'm gay.
The ecosystem is basically like Palworld.
Palworld? What, are we gonna forget about Pokemon?
What is Pokemon and who is that? By defeating some enemies or bosses, you can unlock these bosses as echoes. You can basically treat your echoes as your gear, because they will give you stats, damage, and also an ability. You can equip up to 5 different echoes per character, but every character just gets one ability from the first echo. But there is something called the cost limit. Every echo does cost some points. Some of them cost 1, some 3, some 4, depending on how useful their ability is. So make sure to look at the limit to be able to put as much echoes as you want. And like in Genshin Impact, there are some different set of echoes. If you get 2 pieces of the same set, you will get some bonus stats. And the progression system in this game will be by leveling up these echoes and leveling up your characters and their talents. Because the character has talents, and these talents gives him more passives or just more stats. And for now, the best team comp will look like having a main DPS that does damage, a sub DPS, and a healer. And one of the last 2 should be a buffer. This will probably change in the future, but this is the current meta of the game. And to be able to progress, you will have something called the Union level. You have to level up this Union level as fast as possible. And also you have something called the Terminal level. You level up the Terminal level every time you get a new type of echo for the first time. So this game is kinda different. Other than leveling up the characters, there is also 2 other types of level. And to be able to level up as fast as possible, there are some domains that you can go to and use some of your stamina, which is called wave plates in this game, to get some XP and other rewards, and also your daily quests. These daily quests will give you a certain currency to get more characters, which we will talk about in a second, until you reach some of the late game. And this is where you unlock some end game content. And by the launch of the game, we have 3 end game modes. I might make a video in the future about every mode, so make sure to subscribe. But in a nutshell, we have a hologram mode, which is playing against the bosses, and these bosses are are harder than you expect. There's a roguelike mode that you can play with one character, collect cards in, and that makes you transform in an Echo and get more Echo's abilities, and it's a fun casual mode. And lastly, there is another mode like the Abyss in Genshin that resets every couple of weeks that has different challenges that you have to do to get some rewards. And one of the best things that I can do to be better at the game is visit a wiki to be able to know everything that I need. So you need help from wikis? Yes, because in early game everybody is dented. We already have a very good wiki for the game, which is gamergazer.gg. We have everything you want, from guides, from information. You can make your own tier lists and get the news of the game. And here is where we have the most important thing in the game: interactive maps. That's what people call nuclear ad placement. You can find the wiki in the description and pinned comment. But before you even touch the game, you have to know that this is a gacha game. So the way you get characters and weapons in this game is by gambling. Because in this game there is different banners of certain characters. You use a certain currency to get the character that you want. There are 4-star characters. These characters are easy to get. You get one character at least for every 10 pull. But like the 4-star characters, there is also 5 stars. And these characters are mostly more powerful and have an insane value. Thankfully for Wuthering Waves, for now the difference isn't insane, because some 4-star characters are even better than 5-star, which is something we will talk about later. You can guarantee a 5-star character in 80 pulls with having a 50% of getting the character that you want or a character from the standard banner. If you are new to gacha, you will probably need a whole video for that, but that was generally how it works. Now you might ask, what are the best characters in the game? Thankfully there is a lot of good characters in the game. Most characters are kinda useful. It is expected that Yinlin will be a great sub DPS and that Jian will be a very good DPS. Now there is a reason why I'm choosing Yinlin instead of Jian. You see, the best way of choosing a character isn't by power, isn't by abilities, but for her big, beautiful heart. But one of the greatest teams in the game is Yinlin, Verina, and Calcharo, and these characters are very good, and since we have a selector banner, it's kinda easy to get them. But for 4 stars, we have a very good roster. Mortefi might not be good at the start, but he will be very good once you get more dupes of him. Dungeon is a very good DPS, but she depends on her health. So Dungeon requires skill, which is something you lack, and that's why you need to be careful while using her. And lastly, if you didn't get Verina, which is a healer and a buffer, building Baiji will be very important. Although she's not one of the best characters in the game, but in the early game you need this character to be built, and she's a free-to-play character. And guys, I'm locked in. Make sure to get everything that you see in the world. Embrace the mint picking or berry picking, and make your investment at maximum 3 characters because we're limited in the early game. So as a beginner, that was everything you needed to know. Now you have to come back to me when you become an intermediate, and I will make you the best Wuthering Waves pro player ever, until we all reach the end game. If we reach 20k before the end of the month, that will be crazy. Anyway, that was the video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.